the people that I live with are not always the people that I'm used to live with, because if you're in a house, you have your family there, you know them from birth basically. But if you're in a community house like this, you get all kinds of people. They have their different things that they do, that they don't do, that you're not used to. So you have to get rid of your own, uh, how can I say, do this and don't do that, when you can do that in a house, but you cannot do it in a community house. You just have to love them. You just have to, say, okay, I don't think that was a proper thing to do. And sometimes they don't like to hear that either. Ah, improved, they do a lot already. Improving, I don't know at this point what to say, how they can improve. Get more housing out there for people that are really in need of housing. And especially now with, after COVID, well, not even after COVID, it's COVID time. People have lost their homes. People have lost lots of things. And maybe there should be a little bit of a leeway that the city can consider, maybe drop some, I don't know how to say it, but drop some, uh, the rent, or get some more housing up and going for people who are really out there hurting.
The most challenging part of it for me would be more so the stigma that's involved from our community members in relation to like landlord engagement, assisting people with housing, to seeking medical treatments. It's just the understanding of and compassion of community members. They need to be educated on what homelessness really is. It's the stigma is, I keep saying stigma, but it's everywhere every day when we're helping our friends move forward, and the obstacles that they face can be very draining on them emotionally, and their lack of feeling hopeful for sure is diminished with all the negative responses. The most important improvement that I can see needed would be more affordable housing, right? I personally would like to see more community housings where people are not living alone, to where they're in communities, so they've got companionship during the day. They can talk out their struggles with someone else, so they're not living, in an apartment by themselves and just struggling. Community involvement, whether it's through churches, social groups, or regional funded programs, I find are lacking, and can be more open to more of the broader spectrum of people in the homelessness system right now as well, and integrating community supports from all walks of life, not to be inclusive, but to share everyone's story, because everyone's story is different, and once you get to hear a story, it'll make so much difference in the understanding of what our friends are going through.
My challenge is to get past needing those services and becoming an independent person again, financially stable, and not needing services anymore. I don't think it's only just Niagara's homeless serving sector. I think this has to be maybe a complete Canada-wide support. But the point of all of this is, once you get someone into housing, and I've always felt that these programs should just be temporary measures. A complete follow-through needs to happen, so that if that person is capable of working, if they ended up homeless because of a work situation, really no matter what kind of situation it is, even if it's a single mother with children, training for that person so that they can find a job, they can end up independent and be a better role model for their children, so that social assistance doesn't end up being a way of life. The homelessness and getting into housing is just the first step. There are more steps and more support that still needs to happen to so that everybody can be a success story. And, you know, that's what I'm trying to be now.
Finding support during times with addiction and dealing with addiction in the shelter system. Well, so much before COVID, they used to be a lot stricter on the policies for, like, even sometimes you just come in and smell like a little bit of reefer and they'd say, here, you're suspended for 7 days. You can't stay at the shelter. I mean, you were planning on having a place to stay. And, like, even if you didn't even smoke reefer, you're around people who had it or whatever. So the stigma for addiction, pre-COVID, when I was experiencing homelessness, was pretty intense. I think taking an approach from, like, looking at how natives approach the homing situation and, like, caring for the community and, like, living more in community. I know a lot of people who stay out on the streets stay in community together. So if we had more programs where people could be together yet housed in a location, I think those kinds of programs would help people who have chronic homelessness on the street.